Hi everyone! Today we're going to talk about the impact of roads on insect pollinator diversity, a research project done by Maia, Demitrack and Anja Vidakovic. Before we go any further into the video, we would first like to get you familiar with some key concepts. Pollination. Pollination is a transfer of pollen from male to female plant parts, allowing for fertilization and seed production. Species diversity. Species diversity is the number of different species present in the community and the abundance of each species. Now that we have the definitions of key concepts covered, let's move on and dive into the world of insect pollinators. So why do we need to talk about insect pollinators? Why are they so important? Well, first, insect pollinators maintain the biodiversity. The plant and animal communities would not look like as we know them today without the insect pollinators. Insects are crucial in the plant reproduction. 80 to 85% of all pollination is done by insects. So, without insects, plants that depend on them for pollination would either get replaced by those who self-fertilize or would adapt and evolve into a completely different species. The change in plant community, which act as a primary producer in the food pyramid, would as a result impact the entire ecosystem. The second reason why insect pollinators are so important is because of their role in agriculture. Insects pollinate many crops that we use daily, both as food or medicine, like alfalfa or orchard fruits. Can you imagine a life without apples and mangoes? But insect pollinators are not only important in agriculture. Their impact goes well beyond pollinating crops. Insects contribute greatly to the global economy. They produce goods like honey, wax, cotton, and flax. The economic value of insect pollinators is estimated to be $19 billion in the USA alone. The importance of insect pollinators is best explained by a quote of the influential American biologist Edward Osborne Wilson, who essentially says that without insects, the entire human population would die out in a matter of months. Unfortunately, researchers have seen a declining trend among insect pollinators. The direct cause of insect declines is not yet known. But many studies suggest a negative correlation between the use of toxic chemicals like insecticides and pesticides in agriculture and the insect pollinator diversity. Additionally, a new possible cause has been recently discovered. Although it has still not been studied in detail, some argue that roads are responsible for a large number of insect deaths. And this is where our project steps in. In order to develop efficient insect conservation programs, we need to know the exact causes of their declines. So, this project aims at providing more information of the impact of roads on the population of insect pollinators. The research took place in the Gables Mill Eco Corridor in University of Richmond, where we investigated the impact of the proximity to the river road on the insect pollinator population, richness, and abundance. Our hypothesis was that the abundance and richness of insect pollinator populations in the Gables Mill Eco Corridor decreases with a decrease in the distance from River Road.
We started by setting up 4 rows and 3 columns of cup traps throughout the eco corridor. The rows were approximately 200 meters apart from each other and the columns were roughly 30 meters apart from each other. At each location, there were 4 colored cups: white, blue, yellow, and pink. We collected data on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and alternated between row 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to see what the traps had caught. We took the insect samples to the lab to identify and wrote down our data on an Excel spreadsheet. Once our data was collected, we were able to analyze and statistically test our data against our hypothesis. We found that the second distance away from River Road had the most species abundance and richness, meaning that River Road was not the most desirable location. However, our p-value was 0.408, meaning that we could not reject our null hypothesis. This means that the abundance and richness may not have anything to do with distance, and road may not affect insect pollinators. We found that color was also important, with yellow having the most different species caught and the most amount of insects caught in general. However, the p-value was 0.768, meaning that we had to agree with the null hypothesis that these results could be random regardless of color. Although there is no statistical significance in species richness and abundance for both distance and cup color, we ran a two-way ANOVA and that the interaction between these two variables was in fact statistically significant. This means that the university should be mindful of where and what color plants they grow in the pollinator meadow in order to help our insect pollinators. Thanks to everyone who made this research possible and those who take care and helped restore the eco corridor. And thank you for watching and listening.